Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Daybreak on Trust Television, and of course, it's the newspaper review segment of the program. I have a copy of the Daily Trust with me, as is customary. Interesting stories on the front page of the Daily Trust, but let's start with the lead story. Lead story says petrol will be available weekend, according to the minister. Well, I think the question on the minds of many Nigerians is at how much? Is it going to be available to us at 1,300? Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Price hike shoots up cost of foodstuff expectedly. Beans hit 200,000 naira per bag in Kano, Lagos. Local rice goes for 140,000 naira in Kaduna. Dangote refinery to determine price October. That story is on page 4. You see a pictorial there where it says traders wait for customers in Abuja and Lagos State yesterday amidst increases in prices of food items. So much to buy, but where are the buyers? Terrorists enslaving us to work on their farms, according to Niger residents. And also 3 killed as building collapses in Kano. ICPC queries in Gige over alleged contract job racketeering. And also Burkina Faso issues new passport without ECOWAS logo. A couple of other stories there says Naira crashes to 1,639 to the dollar at parallel market. Businesses disrupted as Kwara tricycle riders protest fuel price hike. And also Turji must face justice. Northern elders tells federal government. These are some of the stories on the front page of the Daily Trust. We now go to The Nation, where top of the page says how social media is fueling banditry by the army. Also, Emefiele court fixes Thursday to hear applications on forfeited assets. Bank of Industry raises 1.43 billion euros in global loan syndication. More stakeholders reject Labour Party caretaker committee. That's as the crisis in the Labour Party brews on. Lead story on The Nation says while Dangote refinery petrol is yet to hit the market. Agreement on pricing template between firm, government yet to be reached. And also, government rolls out sale of 30,000 metric tons of rice for 40,000 naira. Customs explains delay in import duty waiver policy. On the inside story, Shatima meets Lopobiri Kyari. NMDPRA battles to end scarcity, restore supply sanity. And these are some of the stories on the front page of The Nation newspaper. I have in the studio with me the editor of 21st Century Chronicle, talking about no other than Nuruddin Abdullah. Join me in the studio this morning to do analysis on the front page and stories that made it to the front page. Welcome to the program, editor.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really want to talk about other matters, but I think that we should start with this story, the lead story on the Daily Trust. Petrol will be available by weekend. Perhaps, maybe, should we expect a reduction in the price, or what do we expect now?
I don't think so.
It's how you're a bit speechless due to, it seems like it's been a tiring couple of days for Nigerians. I mean, the last 3-4 days has been one with a lot of unexpectedness, if you permit me to use those words.
Yeah, because I think what Nigerians are expecting is totally different from what the people in government are thinking. Look at the headline. The government is simply talking about availability of the product.
Not the price.
Not the price.
Affordability.
They have moved on.
So it's not about affordability,
exactly,
but availability.
Exactly.
If you can buy it, buy it. If you can't,
that is it. That is it. You know, when the vice president summoned those meetings, some people, I was just telling someone, I said, I don't think so. Because, and look at the outcome of the meeting. They are talking about availability. The problem with Nigeria is not availability. Cost of transportation did not go up because of the absence of the product. Or foodstuff, like you mentioned, the prices did not go beyond the roofs because of the unavailability, because of the change in the price. Talking about 617 to almost 950.
50.
You understand?
In areas such as Zaria, in fact, I hear it has gotten to 1,300.
Apparently, because that's the official price. And how many people buy from the official? Maybe even Abuja, just the center, the central
City
area,
center.
the city center, and what have you. So we are two different things. The government has moved on. Like the minister is saying, now they are invoking the provisions in the PIA. Then if deregulate fully. Why is the NNPC going to be the sole off-taker of the Dangote refinery? Why is Dangote refinery? Why is the price of petrol to be produced by Dangote to be determined by Federal Executive Council and NNPC? It is very awkward. And this is some of the outcomes of the. You remember when people went to the street for the hunger protest? So these are some of the consequences of maybe that is it.
Indeed. Well, but then again, let's now talk about this story. Terrorists enslaving us to work on their farms. Niger resident. This story was done by the Daily Trust reporter in Niger State. Perhaps I should read a couple of sentences from the story. It says, residents from security-affected communities in Shiroro local government area of Niger State have reported that terrorists and bandits are enslaving locals to work on their farms. According to a report, a leader of a terrorist group collected over 20 bags of soybeans from farms in Alawa and neighboring communities this year. At an emergency media conference in Niger, in Minna, state capital, Saidu Salihu, secretary of the Coalition of Shiroro Associations, a coalition of youth organizations in the local government, called for military to return to Alawa and surrounding areas to allow displaced residents to return to farming. So this Shiroro local government has been on the news. Alawa community as well. Irina, villages around Shiroro communities within Shiroro local government have complained of terrorists sacking them out of their communities on several occasions. But now this development seems to be news to us, having them work as slaves in their own farms.
Yeah, I think for the Niger issue, those who have been enslaved are those who elected to remain in the villages. Majority of the villages have been
sacked,
displaced. But those who believe that, okay, where am I going to?
They don't have anywhere to go.
So they are now being enslaved, working in the farms owned by terrorists or giving
kickbacks
out of you. So if you look at the case in Niger, Abuja Kaduna Road and some part of the southern Kaduna and the Kaduna Central, the banditry has the incidents have slowed down drastically. Pockets of some of them from the Birnangwari that moved up to Zamfara area and now. So I think the security should do something more on this. They should concentrate on ending this madness instead of dissipating their energy on arresting peaceful hunger protesters, and
charging them.
I think their security has been is confused to a certain extent. The police now, they are not talking about those things now. They are just talking about protesters invoking fire and brimstone.
One would expect that they would met the same.
Exactly. These are law-abiding Nigerians who have been enslaved in their own fatherland.
Well, it goes on and on and on, but then we heard at some point that the government had planned to sell bags of rice at 40,000 naira to civil servants. Another development is that the rice would be distributed, I saw somewhere, using your NIN slip. But for some reason, we are beginning to question whether the rice will ever be rolled out for sale. But then this headline says government rolls out sale of 30,000 metric tons of rice for 40,000 naira. Perhaps a word or two on this would suffice.
Yes, I think the Tinubu's administration is just like, unfortunately, just like the Buhari's administration, hasn't yet got it right, particularly in channeling these palliatives, these measures that will alleviate the suffering of Nigerians. You look at this, this thing has been going on for almost 2 months now. This rise thing, from civil servant now to NIN. And the worst part of it is this: it will be hijacked by the politicians. I cited an instance, one of those rises that were taken to Niger State. An immediate past local government chairman, I was discussing with him. He said he got 5 kg of that rice and 10 modules of maize. He bought it. Him as former immediate past local government chairman.
But he bought it.
He bought it, exactly. 5 kg. So you imagine, I was teasing him. I said, what if you are former vice chairman and you are councillor? He said the whole thing is horrible.
So even politicians are complaining about.
You see what happened? What happened in Kano? DSS have arrested some people in Kebbi State. So the federal government need to devise a proactive way where these things will reach to the needy, to the right people. If not a chairman that can feed on a local government chairman, a commissioner. Look at what happened in Kano. Some bags of rice were sited in certain facilities owned by certain people in government.
All right, Editor, before we round up the program, I want your comments on the deteriorating situation in the north, especially as it's on multiple fronts. We have insecurity, we have the devastating impact of floods, we have the impact of illiteracy, as the case may be, and how this has in one way or the other added to the rise of criminal activities in the north. Does it get better at any point?
I don't think it will get better. Why? Quality of leadership. That's the starting point. You have people who are governors simply because they became governors because they have money. Take the Northwest, for instance, where I come from, the southern states. Compare the present leadership with the governors we elected in 1999. I leave it at that. Compare the southern states.
So it's a matter of quality.
It's about quality.
All right.
Simple. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
Right.
And look at it. Maybe let me add it. Compare all these indices of human development, the north versus the south. Take southwest, for instance.
The picture becomes clearer.
It's clearer. It's considerable leadership. When you believe that somebody will just use the clerics in the pulpit, give them money, and he gets elected, notwithstanding what he has upstairs, notwithstanding his manifesto, people are elected into office without even knowing what to do. That's why, you see embarrassing video footages of these people masquerading as leaders. That is the starting point.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Editor, for this submission. Hopefully, we get to expatiate on this subsequently at another time. But then it's been a pleasure having you in the studio to do analysis on some of the headlines that made it to the front page of national dailies today.
Thank you so much, Alistair Gill.
Yes, indeed. And with that, we call it a wrap on the program this morning. For all of those who called into the program and those who were unable to connect with us during the Daybreak interactive section, we say apologies to that, and we hope that next time you get to call into the program. And for me here in the studio, thank you very much for watching. My name is Sagir Ibrahim. Have a lovely day.